needs to have dinner and get into their night routine. Let me pin myself to the screen. Pin to the screen for everyone. We'll get rid of Sam.
I think she's unpinned.
Unpinned, perfect. And let's get into it. So 8 weeks. 8 weeks is a slightly longer challenge than what we typically do. The idea behind 8 weeks is we want everybody to see a change. 30 days is a good amount of time to stay motivated. Generally, we can get a lot out of that time, but whether we keep that going or not is a little bit difficult. We really wanted to go against the grain a little bit. Put the challenge on during the tough times. Put it on during the Christmas parties, during the work events, during maybe even a bit of time off, school holidays, lots of things that we're juggling, because it's not so much about staying strict and not having fun, but it's about getting on the bandwagon sooner. So whenever there is something that might disrupt your nutrition, that might disrupt your training, we want you guys to be able to get back in the next day. And if you're not getting back in the gym the next day, then have a sauna, go for a walk, do something to get that momentum moving, because if that momentum is halted by an event, getting the momentum started again is the toughest part. It is a reason why we are doing Sundays as well. Now, I guess we'll start with Sundays, the first inclusion for everybody. We're either going to be doing a class or open gym. Now, we will try and keep the sauna open in those times too. If you see it on the app, then it will be available. If not, then it will just be the class that's advertised or open gym. So what does a Sunday class look like? We will program these classes based on the training that you guys have been doing throughout the week. So we try not to make it too repetitive, but it's generally a big fun cardio or conditioning session. Now, the reason we do a cardio or conditioning session, because it's good doing those in a group setting when you've got a coach screaming at you. And if you want to do strength, you can come in at that same time and do strength, but it's easy to do with your headphones in, with your barbell, with your bench, and smashing out some of those reps on your own. Other days, it might be open gym. So open gym is where we'll put some workouts up on the screen. There might be a coach there, there might not be, and you can come in and you get a couple of hours to throw some weights around, follow a program, jump on a bike. It's just about allowing that opportunity for you guys to come in and train if you would like to. We'd love to do classes every Sunday, but like we said, it is a busy time of year, so sometimes we can come in, we can open up, but we can't be there to coach or run the class. Another benefit is another inclusion, I should say, is your scans. Now, if you were able to scan today, that's excellent. If not, please come in and scan tomorrow morning. A scan is, it's called an in-body scan, and it's a machine that tells you mainly two things about yourself: your body fat and your muscle mass. Now, these are two metrics that we're going to be looking at and we're going to be measuring at the start and at the end. It's not going to be something that turns into a competition where the person that puts on the most amount of muscle wins $1,000 or vice versa with body fat. It is a metric where we can see, all right, we were able to achieve this over 8 weeks. And it doesn't matter if that achievement was 1 or 2 or 5 or 30. It is going to be different to person A as it will be to person B. And I don't put a lot of stress on these scans because the number is very easy to measure, but something like your energy level, something like how well you're sleeping at night, something like how good you feel during a cardio session and after a cardio session, a lot of these factors are very hard to measure. So just because the scan's the easiest one to measure doesn't mean it needs to be the only thing that we measure. I want you guys checking in with yourself and thinking about where your routine's at now, how you feel when you train now, how you feel after you train now, how you feel when you wake up, how you feel in the afternoon. A compilation of your training, but also your nutrition, which we will touch on. And I want you to track those things and see how you are feeling. In terms of the scans, one of the famous questions is, what should my goal be? How much muscle should I put on? How much fat should I lose? It's really going to be relative to your current routine and how much that changes. If you have had a bit of time off training and you're just getting back into it and you feel comfortable at 3 or 4 sessions, and we keep that number quite high as long as we get good recovery and good sleep and good nutrition, you're going to see a big change. Now, that change isn't going to keep going on a linear fashion. You're not going to, go from 1 to 5 from, now until 8 weeks time, and then from 5 to 10, from 8 to 16 weeks, so on and so forth. We will see that either plateau out or that curve start leveling out once we get into that routine. Same thing if right now you're in a pretty good routine and we're looking for maintenance, or we're looking to make small changes. I know for myself, I'll typically have a glass of wine, maybe 4 or 5 nights a week. And then maybe if I'm catching up with some friends, especially this time of year, I'll have 3 or 4 beers. If I kept that going all year round and I completely cut something like alcohol out, that would be a drastic change. If I only lifted weights and I never did any strength, and then I started doing all of this strength, that would be a drastic change. It just comes down to where you're at now and what we are willing to change. But I would love to talk to everyone personally, because it's a bit hard to announce that to the big group. But yeah, that is your scan. Point number 2. The next one, which is a fun one, we've got some training shirts. So we had these Project U shirts done with a big 25 on the back. They're going to be something that you guys can grab if you would like one of these. It's a pretty cool design. They're breathable, they're light, they're easy to train in, and we've got quite a lot of them. This was for a challenge that we ran earlier in the year, not really a challenge, more so a project. These shirts are a little bit different. They come with a BCHP logo in the front and then a little design on the back. We'll be getting those on Friday, so in a couple of days, which is exciting. You essentially get one garment that you can train in, or you can use as athleisure, around the house or around the community, which is another cool little inclusion that we get. And outside of just some check-ins and utilizing our WhatsApp group and keeping each other accountable and trying to create a good community that promotes happiness and healthiness, it's a really good compilation of the both. We get access to a group of dietitians. Now, these dietitians are called Grams of Health. They have put together a male and a female nutritional recipe booklet. If you haven't seen it yet, it is in the WhatsApp group. If you've just gotten on there, we'll explain to you how you can view that, how you can access it, and how you can best utilize it. But for now, I'm going to pass on to Nikki. Now, Nikki's the owner of Grams of Health. She is an accredited practicing dietitian for the last 5 years, and she's worked alongside BCHP for the last 5 years now. When it comes to the recipe book, she's going to touch on those. And when it comes to calories, because we got quite a lot of questions about calories this morning, she's going to touch on those, give you guys some good tips and tools. Outside of that, I'm sure there's many questions, right? Whether they're for myself or they're for someone very intelligent like her. But we'll save those to the end, and we'll make sure we are conscious of time as we go through. Nikki, without further ado.
Slide on over. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, Ben. I was also thinking, if anyone has any questions, maybe you can pop them. Is there a chat box?
Yeah.
You can pop it in the chat box, and we will watch that and then answer them at the end. But yes, myself and my team, Tori and Grace, will be looking after you guys for the challenge, which is very exciting. I know that a lot of you had scans this morning or this afternoon, and so you would have had some insight into maybe setting goals for yourself. I guess that's one of the biggest places we can start when it comes to nutrition, is figuring out what your goal is over the next 8 weeks. I really like 8 weeks as a time frame because it gives you enough time to build those healthy habits and also see change. So if you scan, that's awesome. You've got something that you can base off your progress off, which will be really good. I would encourage you all to think about a goal that you want to set, because that will then, determine your nutrition for the challenge. Like Ben said, we have created some recipe books for you. And I guess our whole philosophy when it comes to challenges is giving you inspiration and motivation to get in the kitchen and cook different foods or healthy foods. I think a lot of the time people get sick of cooking the same foods, maybe a little bit boring. And when it comes to challenges, we often hear that people meal prep, the really healthy chicken, broccoli and rice or something of the like. The first week, nail it, everything, all the containers are in the fridge, and by the second week comes around, they couldn't think of anything worse than eating that. So I guess these recipe booklets are nothing like that. We run a cooking school, so we love food, we love flavor, and all of the recipes feature different proteins, different carbohydrates, and different cuisines and flavors. So we are really encouraging you to, the first few days of the challenge, have a flick through those books and, flag the ones that you're really excited to try. You have 8 weeks, so you can probably get around to all of the recipes. The way that I'll get you to utilize these booklets is on, I think it's the second page or third page, there is like a little meal plan template there. I would encourage you all to probably download one just off Google and print it out, or keep it on your phone or your laptop, whatever you want, and actually use that to create your own meal plan. The reason we haven't given you a meal plan is because we are promoting you to get creative and write your own. So all of the breakfasts are calorie controlled. So if you pick breakfast A 1 week and then breakfast B the next week, they have a similar calorie amount, so that won't matter too much. Same thing with the lunches and dinners. So you really can chop and change those recipes, but we're encouraging on a Sunday for you to sit down and plan out, okay, I'm going to have these 3 breakfasts across this week, and I'm going to pick these 4 or 5 mains and kind of stagger them throughout the week as well. And then that's your recipes for the week. You can write your shopping list and go, and then you can cook those up. So really promoting a little bit of independence there with building your meal plans. The goal with that as well is we've given you a baseline. So the calories of those main meals are quite low, in the sense that it has been called a shred, so kind of like getting the body ready for summer. However, we understand that everyone's very individual. So in the back of the booklet, you will see boosters. So if you look at a recipe and you go, love this recipe, but that's just not enough for me, I know it, you can either head to the back of the book and see those boosters. So if it's a chicken recipe, you can go, I'm going to add 100 grams of chicken, and in there we'll have the calories and macros for you, so you can just add it straight to your recipe. Alternatively, we also have snacks in the back as well. So we have recipes for snacks and also supermarket recommended products from our team of dietitians. So if you're not feeling like cooking the snacks, we've given you some recommendations for you too. So that's kind of how we can help you. Did I do that? Wow. I don't know if that came up for everyone. So that's how you can kind of use this framework to build to your calorie goal. Now, calorie goal, I'm sure, was a huge question this morning, and it is tricky to calculate. However, when you're looking at your scans and you have your BMR, that is what your body requires if you are laying in bed all day asleep. So please don't think that that's the calories that you need to eat every day. That is without even getting out of bed. So we need to then add in an activity factor. So that's something like, it might be light, moderate, or active. So if you're a tradie or in the army, you'd be like a very active human. For most of us, I'd say we're sitting around a moderately active. I will link in this chat box a formula you can use. So it's a website, you can go on there, you can add in your height, weight, gender, activity factor, and it will spit out a calorie target, which would be for maintenance, and then it will give you a range if you want to drop body fat. So that's kind of where you guys can build your independence. But I would also encourage, if you are not as confident with building your own calorie amount, please reach out. We can either help you just calculate it nice and quickly, or we can come and do a speed consult with you in the gym, which we will get around to organising, but we are available to pop in or even do virtual consults too. That way we can help you calculate your calories and also kind of build a structure. So we might say, okay, for Antonia, it might be we want you to have 3 main meals within the calorie amounts that we've set in the recipes, and then 2 snacks and a protein smoothie. So that's kind of how we would do it. Or for Ben, it might be, can you please have 3 main meals, 3 snacks, and a protein smoothie? And then I know that that's going to hit his calories there. So that's just a little bit about the booklets, how you can utilize them, and how you might be able to calculate your own macros. Did you have a question? I'm not finished, but
So Nikki said BMR, so basal metabolic rate, in case you haven't heard that before. For everyone that has scanned today, that number is down the bottom on the right of the scan. So there's a bit of a chunk of text and numbers. Your basal metabolic rate will be in there. The number that it's given is kind of your recommended basal metabolic rate. Then you'll see a range. That range is probably your high or your low, just kind of depending on a few different factors. But it's generally built up of the organs and the living organisms within your body. So how much muscle you've got and kind of what your body needs just to survive.
Yes, and something to note is that within this challenge, there might be a few different goals within the challenge. It might be, reduce body fat, increase muscle mass, just get into the gym X amount of times, or get fitter. So there's a lot of different things that you might want to achieve. If body fat is your goal, I want to really promote weightlifting because muscle is metabolically active. And when we look at what I mean by that is if you have a lot of muscle, it's actually chewing through calories at rest. And so if you have an 80 kilogram person with X amount of muscle and an 80 kilogram person with double the muscle, they're going to have a higher calorie amount that they can eat every day to keep them at maintenance because of that muscle mass. So we really do promote, if you are wanting to drop body fat, don't think it's just strictly cardio, because we want to keep that really strong foundation and ensure that you're building muscle at the same time, which that's not really in my realm, that's the trainer's realm, but I just want to give you that piece of advice that a strong foundation and a strong body is going to help you burn through calories. And that's how we see people's BMR change. BMR is something that doesn't change crazily. However, having a higher muscle mass is going to help you there for sure. I wanted to give you a few tips. As Ben said, it is festive season almost. So few tips and tricks around if you have parties, if you're dining out. I'm a massive social person. I run a cooking school. If someone told me I couldn't go out for dinner on a challenge, I'd say I'm not doing it. So we want to give you those tips so you can feel empowered to still enjoy your social outings. So if you are going out for a dinner or any sort of meal, I would like you to try and replicate something that you would do at home. Typically, we find that when we're going out for meals, it's the extras. It might be the bread to start, then we have entree, main, sides, dessert, drinks. It's just an accumulation of, excess calories. So I would encourage you to replicate what you do at home, and you might want to pick and choose, your evil. So if you want to have your main meal and a side, perfect. If you want to have a main meal and a drink, perfect. If you want to do a shared entree and a main, just don't go overboard, and you'll be definitely set up for more success. And trying to pick those things that are, leaner cuts of meat or less oily, not too creamy, because that's where we have those hidden calories, and trying to go for those grilled options rather than the deep fried. When it comes to alcohol, of course, there are the healthier or the lower calorie options like our spirits and sodas, but I have a couple of things around alcohol. I'm not saying don't drink it, but it is how many days of the week can you have alcohol free, so your body is prioritizing its own recovery and digestion. And then on the times that you are drinking, the main things we think about when it comes to nutrition is alcohol is a appetite stimulant. So you might have had dinner, then you have a few drinks, and all of a sudden you're peckish again. Something to keep in mind, because you might not actually be requiring another meal. It might just be stimulating that idea. And it also reduces those, those like conscious decision-making factors. So you might not normally want to have the, like hot chips and aioli, but when you've had a couple of drinks, those care factors might go down and you might pick them. And also it's the next day. So like Ben said, you might have those drinks absolutely fine, but we want to make sure the next day we're jumping back on the bandwagon. We're not, feeling sorry for ourselves and not moving all day. We're going to be drinking water, moving the body, even if it's a walk, and nourishing ourselves again the next day. Last thing is we do have, I'm running a meal prep masterclass this Sunday. It's actually going to be held in Caringbah, so not too far from you all. That's where Ben and I live, so that's where he travels from every day. But this class is an hour and a half this Sunday. You get 2 meal prepped meals after the class. You actually get to cook them alongside my team of dietitians on the day. And we're going to be giving tips and tricks on how to streamline your meal prep so that it's not tedious, time-consuming, boring, and you have access to our team of dietitians to ask any questions along the way. 10 a.m. till 11:30. I can give you some more information on that later, but it would be really, really nice to meet some of you there. Sorry, I can talk. I love talking. Over to you.
Thank you. It's very interesting hearing Nikki talk about calories, because it's not often something that she will discuss too much. It's all about lifestyle, it's all about enjoyment. But there were quite a few questions about it this morning, which is what sparked the conversation. Nikki has known our entire coaching team ever since they started coaching there. So if you wanted to ask questions or get more information, feel free to reach out to anybody and they will point you in the right direction. We do have 4 minutes left. I didn't have too much more that I wanted to say. I guess kind of touching on calories one more time. We're definitely not having a focus around that. It was really just to kind of answer some questions. If you did want any, numbers or targets, or if it really interests you, then I highly encourage you to reach out. Nikki's jumped on board with this challenge to give advice, to touch base on, to answer questions, to do Q&A, to be an assisting part of it all. Not everyone or really only a handful of people work one-on-one in a private capacity with Nikki alongside challenges or alongside her team. So she's definitely at arm's length. Like she also touched on, we will be doing things where we are going to be having myself and her and maybe some other allied health in the studio, training alongside you guys, so that if there's any questions there, we can answer them straight away. We got a few minutes left. Nikki and I will be hanging out here for a little while answering questions, and we've just had the first one come through. You can take this one. I know your answer.
So protein powders. I recommend if you can have dairy products. I don't actually eat like dairy very much, but I can have whey protein. So I recommend a whey protein isolate is really good. I always use True Protein. They're really clean and tested. So that's one that I recommend. You can buy them online and it comes within a couple of days, or some shops will store it as well. But yeah, the True Protein is really good. If you have a shop nearby, then you can go in and talk to them, and they often have other products, but whey protein isolate is the best one.
If there's a few of you that are interested in True Protein, I can put in a wholesale order. I think we get maybe 10 or 15% off if it's a larger order. So feel free to comment here, and I might even post it in the WhatsApp group. It will take maybe 3 or 4 days to arrive, so it's not going to do you any good this week. However, we can save you a little bit of money ordering as a team.
For sure.
Any other questions about the challenge or anything, please ask away. If you do need head off, please do so. But yeah, we'd love to hang around, answer some questions. You can ask Sam questions. I feel like you've still got some more to say.
No, I always have more. I was just going to mention on the calories side, I am an intuitive eater, so I've actually never counted my own calories despite doing it for clients all the time. So if you are someone like me and you don't necessarily want to count calories, absolutely, I'm all for it. That's kind of why we do the recipe booklets. You can follow the recipe and cook it and not have to worry about the numbers at all. So intuitive eating looks like, ensuring that you're hydrated so you're not accidentally thinking you're hungry but you're thirsty, slowing down, making sure you're not eating in front of the computer, something that Ben and I are really bad at, but trying to have a lunch break where possible, same at dinner, sitting at the dinner table, using a knife and fork so you're slowing down that pace, and just asking yourself before you grab that next thing, is that hunger and where's it coming from? Is it my stomach, which is real hunger? Is it my head, which is stress? Or is it my heart, which might be that emotional fuel? So that's just a few tips for intuitive eating there too.
Right. One thing that we generally get a little bit of friction with when someone's new to the gym is the type of classes that we run. And typically someone's like, don't really go near that cardio thing, or strength really isn't for me. If you haven't done a class that we do at Panania, so keep in mind there is the hybrid class. So we run Elevate, which is part strength, part cardio. We run Main Event, which is all cardio, and then we run Lift, which is our strength program, which is all strength. They're very, very customizable to your ability, your experience, injuries, anything that you would like to do. And I encourage everyone to come and join in some of those, especially some of the cardio classes, because they are classes that are generally done at your own pace. And if you're not really feeling like getting into a big session, then we'll always customize things for you. But I would hate for anyone to have a bias to the way they like to train, and and not coming because of those things, because they're all really good fun. Look, guys, it is 7:45. Like I said, Nikki and I are hanging out here next couple of hours or so. We are going to be answering some questions and pointing you guys in the right direction. But I really appreciate you having the time. Alex, I saw you just jumped on. We've got a 24-minute recording, which we're going to post on YouTube and then in the group. So you can watch that in your own time, and you can share it with anyone else that has not been able to be a part of it. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. If you need to leave, please leave. If you'd like to stay and pick our brains, I can't promise you that we've got the answer, but we'll definitely make it up.
Good luck, guys.
What do you reckon, Sam? Do you have any questions? Can't hear.
There we go. No questions, no notes.
What's everyone having for dinner?
What's everybody having for the tea? I just made McChicken smash tacos, actually.
Oh, stop it. That's delicious.
It was so good.
Yum. Big
That's
fan. I had a lamb gyros bowl with beef.
Delicious. Side-eye.
Yummy.
Elena, are you excited? Your first BCHP challenge.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm doing it